Okay, hello again, Mr. Stanberry here. This is take 3, so I'm putting a lot of effort into this because everything's too long. So I'm going to keep it brief. Through our work, we should have, the last couple days, come up with some of these things that I'm going to talk about already. Here's our unit circle. What's our radius of a unit circle? 1. Okay, so this x value, here's my origin. This x value is 1. My y value is 1. This is negative 1, right? We're on the coordinate plane now, okay? With our center of our circle is the origin, so this is negative 1, negative 1y, okay? We can break up, we should know that in degrees, we're starting off here, and in degrees we go counterclockwise is positive, clockwise is negative, and a full rotation we know is 360 degrees. We also have learned that a full rotation in radians is 2 pi. Okay? Remember, so all the way around the circle is 2 times pi times r, and our radius is 1, so 2 times pi times 1 is 2 pi. So all the way around the circle is 360 degrees, or 2 pi. So halfway around the circle we know is 180 degrees or just pi. Okay? What you'll have to do is be able to break up this circle in fractions. Okay? Let's just start off with 30 degrees. That would be about right here. Okay? Here's another 30, another 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, and 30. Okay? Remember, 30 degrees is, if you divide that into 180, is 6 times, right? This is 1/6 of 180, or 1/6 of pi. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there's 6 of these little sections there, okay? So we can label this 30, 60, 90, 120. In numbers, we can label it, like I said, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, still adding 30, 240, 270, 300, and 330. Okay? Now let's talk about in terms of pi. This is 1/6 pi of a pi, or pi over 6. Okay? So I'm going to kind of clean this up here. I'm taking the degrees off. I'd like to leave it on there, but it's going to be a little too cluttered. Okay? So now let's do radians. Okay? This is pi over 6. Okay? This is going to be 2 pi over 6. But remember, 2 over 6 is what? 1/3. So let's change that to 1/3 pi, or pi over 3. Remember, if you divide 3.14 blah 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 divide 3, that's really how many radians it is. Remember, 60 degrees is is about 1 radian roughly. Okay? Alright. Pi 6, 2 pi 6. Here's 3 pi 6, which is what? So what's 3 over 6? Pi halves. Okay? 4 pi 6. What's 4 pi 6? That's 2/3 pi. Okay? So 4 pi, or 4/6 pi, 4 over 6 reduces to 2 over 3. There's 2/3 pi. And here's 5 pi 6. 6 pi 6. Of course, that's pi. 6 over 6 is 1. 7, 6 pi. 8, 6 pi. Reduce that. That's what? 8, 6 is 4/3. 9, 6 pi. 3 halves pi. 10 6 pi? Okay? So count our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 6 pi, what's 10 over 6? That's 5 over 3 pi, or 5 thirds pi. 10 6 pi, 11 6 pi, and 12 6 pi. What's 12 over 6? 2 pi. Okay? Now you can think about it, remember, let's think about it in terms of 60 degrees, which makes sense here. 1/3 of 180 degrees is 60 degrees. 1/3 of 180 is 60. So 60 degrees is 1/3 of a pi, because 180 is pi. Let's count in 60 degrees. Pi thirds, 2 pi thirds, 3 pi thirds, 4, 5 pi thirds, 6 pi thirds. What's 6 over 3? 2. Okay? All right. The one I left out was 45 degrees. Okay, here's 90. We know that's half a pi. So there's 45 degrees. So here's pi. 45, 90. This is going to be what? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this 45 degrees, it goes into 180 4 times. So 45 degrees is 1/4 of pi, 1/4 of 180 degrees. So this will be pi fours, 2 pi fours, 3 pi fours, 4 pi over 4, which is just pi, 5 pi fours, 6 pi fours. What's 6 over 4? 3 halves, and 7 pi over 4. 45, 90, 135, 180, 225, 270, 315. Okay? There's your unit circle. You're going to use these triangles to form reference angles. Okay? Remember our special rights? Remember, our radius is always 1. On a unit circle, your x is your cosine, because x will equal cosine. Only on a unit circle, because cosine and sine are going to be x over 1 and y over 1. Since your radius is 1, x and y values on the unit circle will equal cosine and sine. Remember, this is for 45 degree, 90 triangles. Root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2 are the values. Okay? But this is only for what? Quadrant 1. Okay? And then they just flip signs. Okay? This is going to be the values. Now you're just going to have, just like x and y will be different values in the different quadrants of the circle. Remember our 30, 60, 90 triangles. It might be oriented this way, or you might have a 60-degree angle. Remember, radius is 1, short legs 1/2, the long legs root 3 over 2. Okay? Over here for 30 degree, here's your long leg, right? Root 3 over 2 and 1/2. Okay? Alright, so cosine. Adjacent over hypotenuse, root 3 over 2. Sine, 1/2. Over here, cosine is 1/2. Sine is root 3 over 2. Okay? We should be working with this and be familiar with this already. And last thing, when I get to this unit circle, what's nice about it, I'll just give you one example. Let's start off here. Let's go 180, let's go 210. 210 degrees. What's my reference angle? Reference angles. Angle between your ray and the x-axis. It's always going to be a positive value. That's going to be 30 degrees, right? 210 is 30 past 180. Okay? We know 30 degrees makes pi 6, right? So we know this is 6 over 6 pi, 1 pi. This is going to be 7 pi 6. Okay? And what type of triangle can we make here? Here's my y, here's my x, and we know what these are, right? Remember, in the unit circle, x is going to be the same as your cosine. Okay, so this is what territory in quadrant-wise? This is where x is negative and y is negative. So cosine is going to be negative, sine is going to be negative. Okay? Long leg on the 30, 60, 90. Root 3 over 2. Okay, so cosine, because of this triangle of what? 210 is going to be cosine, it's going to be in this negative quadrant for cosine, negative root 3 over 2, and sine is also negative, and that's the 1/2, negative 1/2. Okay? All right, and we're going to have different, if you had a different reference angle, let's say we went all the way to 240, that would give you 60 degrees here, and your cosine signs are going to switch. If you remember, last thing I don't want to confuse you, you'll be able to look at these different triangles. Different angles will form different triangles, but you're basically going to deal with the 30-60-90 and the 45-45-90. Okay? Remember, opposite over hypotenuse, sine. Adjacent, which is x, over hypotenuse, and hypotenuse is 1, cosine, okay? All right? That's about it. I hope I didn't take too long, because my previous videos are too long. We're working on, all this stuff we're working on in these springboard exercises, okay? You need to know the unit circle, every cosine. You're going to have to know every little lip on the unit circle here, every angle, 30, 60, 90, 45, all those in radians, in degrees, no cosine, sine, okay? All right? And going either way, too, you know, all right? So we have to be familiar going negative, positive, in any directions, okay? We're working with that on the springboard, okay? So that's all I have. Hope I didn't take too long. Okay, have a great night.